maybe even rise themselves above that. But 1 to 4, it's kind of a bit of a mishmash. You're kind of not really sure where exactly everyone's going to sit at this point. So we're going to really have to wait and see how things do turn out throughout the rest of Contenders before we really can nail down who is the best in the region right now.
Well, live in Hanamura, that's where Diva's going to be, Jordan. Would you go? Would you go watch?
Hell, yes.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan
but you're like a K-pop fan, right?
Oh yeah, I can go for a little bit of K-pop here and there.
We'll see. That's not what this is. This is esports. I actually enjoy esports far more.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
So, out on attack is Legacy to kick this one off. Darksided choosing to defend. And look at this. Legacy have pushed all the way through very, very quickly.
Well, some nice map positioning.
Sides match.
They can get all the way around the back. They do have that quad tank set up here, so they really just want to get in onto that point and try and take the fight on the point where they can get that damage out as opposed to kind of getting picked off, getting that split kind of gameplay out that Darksided really want here. And when they do dive in, let's see if they can do the damage. It was a good biotic nade actually out from Swilko there, but no kill comes off the back of that, and Mooney does get the first blood of the game essentially by demeching Skull. The actual kill though goes the way of Termo onto Dench. This is looking bad though for Darksided. No, it's not. The USMC EMP so early, so fast it comes up, and Legacy might just drop the fight off the back of that. Caramel, Koala and Wubo are still around the back here. That's kind of bad news here for Legacy because they're going to get picked off.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the rest of Legacy can get there in time, but Darksided is certainly going to be there faster. Or not.
The thing about the EMP that was insane was the first 90 seconds of this map didn't even have any gameplay going on. They were just running around the back. Here we go. Dragon Blade comes out. Caramel Koala fighting hard here. Yeah. Termo will go down.
Oh, Wuvo might be off the edge there. Yes, he is. Mooney does get that kill, but isn't enough to stall this cap. Self-destruct does come across, and I thought Mooney was going to jump in there and die, but no, he does not. He avoids the self-destruct still deftly. But Legacy Esports, it seems as though they have quite a stranglehold on this cap. Darksided still can contest. They have players around there. Swilko, the only one with the ultimate available, though. Wonder who that's going to be going on to. Of course, the Winston. He'll jump back in there. Mooney still trying to get damage out and does take down Strawbella. A good early pick in the fight there, but the response is good from Legacy as well. And Termo has to go scurrying away from that point as there's a guy with a bigger weapon than you smashing your face.
Certainly will. Legacy looking like they should pick this one up as soon as that Genji goes down, but being very, very annoying and ticking away very important seconds as well. But Legacy picks it up, 5:40 on the clock now. Try and take this second point here on Hanamura. That's a pretty good start from them.
It was, and that was a really weird kind of a fight out on Hanamura.
Like, what, 2 fights, really?
2 or maybe even 3 fights even, but the way that Darksided sort of retook or tried to retake the point and get control of it, it felt like they were sort of going in one by one a little bit. You saw Mooney go in, then Termo went in with his ulti, but there wasn't too much follow-up behind that, and Legacy were able to pick those players off, and so it worked out quite nicely for them. Again, another excellent bio-nade coming out from Darksided. Swilko just coming up absolutely huge on this Ana, and just off the back of that one nade, Darksided is able to completely wipe Legacy, so huge credit to Swilko for that.
Look at that, and it just essentially goes ding, 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 ding. All those ultimates now ready for Darksided, and this is going to cost Legacy considerable time should Darksided play this out appropriately, and I'd like to think they will here. Termo with the Drag Blade. Really, if you look at it, it's only Swilko for now. Yeah. And we'll see Anna's ultimate coming up very, very shortly. Oh,
that's a nice pick from Caramel Koala, having swapped over to the Widowmaker. Darksided not ready for that, not expecting it, and Wubo does follow up with a kill onto Termo. Darksided do, however, have all of their ultis available to try and hold on to this one. We've already seen the EMP going out, Molotov as well, using the Transcendence, and Darksided kind of are stabilizing this one just a little bit, but they're having to use a fair bit just to hold on to this, given those 2 early picks out from Darksided. Still, there are 3 ultis available for Darksided. USMC quite far away from his, but Molotov already back up to 50% despite using it in that last fight.
Having to use 3 there, Jordan, to try and get them through, as you said, after they lost 2 players very, very early, including one from Caramel Koala. Will we find another kill coming out? Not for now. The sound barrier does come through. Wubo ready. We'll see if that tack visor is used. There we go. Maybe going to try and chase down USMC. Self-destruct comes out. Drops down just in the nick of time. Nicely played. Everyone's still alive.
Wubo should be caught off by a couple of those players. Termo, though, doing some work on the other side of the field with that ultimate out from the Genji. Wubo did actually manage to survive there, I think. No, actually, he did get taken down. So I'm Misreading the kill feed. But Mooney's going to try and look for a stagger pick here. I don't think he's going to be able to get that one. Has to fall back off a bit too low. Overall, a fairly good hold, though, from Darkside. It comes off the back of a couple of picks from Turmo. And the fact that Wubo was really kind of not allowed to do anything with his tactical visor. There's some good bullying out from the tanks of Darksided. But Caramel Koala still going to be a danger here on that Widowmaker, with ult or without.
Yeah, doing pretty well, to be perfectly honest. And the time, though, continues to tick down here for Legacy. Darksided doing a pretty good job of holding back. Having said that, Wubo finds two, finds both of the healers. Now Darksided in a very bad position.
Turmo has disconnected, I think. I'm not really sure. Yes, that surely is a disconnection from Turmo. He's just standing still there for so long. No possible reason you're going to be doing that on a Genji.
Maybe they're doing that competition, right? Like the challenge where they get out.
Yeah,
and
what's that called?
A statue thing, and then they...
I can't remember what it's called.
And then they go around the room.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I really didn't like it when we had to do it. We did it once. It was silly.
Well, you did it. I was actually casting at the time, so I dodged
well, that was fortunate, because I'm not very good at standing still. It's way too long.
I thought it was okay. It looked good.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of that, going back to that fight that initially just started there, the one just before Turmo kind of stood still and ended up having a pause for us here. It seemed like Molotov, I think it was on Zenyatta, kind of just got left out to dry a little bit there. His tanks pushed forward. He was sort of sitting on that high ground, that forward position on his own, and wasn't really able to get out of there as, well, the rest of Legacy decided to push in. He was taken down pretty quickly, and we're starting to see now Legacy pushing onto that cap point. Turmo probably goes down here. He's very low on HP up on that high ground. Someone's going to be jumping on him shortly. That's going to be 2 players already out, plus if Turmo goes down, 3 players down for Darksided. This is a good opportunity for Legacy.
Already had 2, I think, taken down. Got both those healers, didn't they? So if we take a look at that, you can see...
well, Molotov has just come back up.
Right.
But Swilko is down. Turmo survives. Turmo survives.
Nice
so that's big. And that might mean that Legacy can't actually push back in here.
And straight away, Molotov comes out after the pause with a Transcendence. I don't know whether that was needed or not.
Perhaps not. USMC does get the hack across there. The follow-up is good. He gets a kill onto Strawbella. Mooney, another one there onto Wubo. And all of the damage goes the way of Darksided in that fight. So, despite all that conjecture about Darksided having lost a couple of players or about to lose a couple of players, Turmo surviving there was big. Molotov comes straight out, of course, with the Transcendence, and that kind of puts a roadblock on Legacy. They can't dive onto the point because they can't kill anyone. And so they have to sort of fall back, and then USMC gets a really nicely placed EMP to turn the fight in the favor of Darksided. Now another opportunity, though, for Legacy, but time is running out. They're down below 2 minutes, so they have to start getting something on the board. As of yet, haven't even got a single tick.
No, Infrasight comes out and is used up without anything really coming out of it. Wubo going to be forced back there. We'll see whether he gets to use his tack visor or not. Pushes forward, doesn't need it for now. Punk tries to jump up the top. There we go. Tack visor used. I think maybe trying to force out UMC. Mooney will go down as well. Legacy still has everyone alive for now. But it doesn't feel like they're pushing anything. They're not getting any further. Maybe this is the opportunity they needed. Yeah, they're not really actually getting much cap timer on right now. And the trouble is with this 2CP, with this assault map kind of style, Darksided, despite the fact that they do lose a few players there, the respawn is going to be coming across so quickly, and they're doing a great job of just stalling Legacy away from that point. Oh, Mooney jumps in and gets 2. Wubo and Strawbella do go down. The combo for Darksided working out very nicely. I think it was Turmo and Mooney jumping in. No ultimates used there either from them. I'd love to have a look at that on Mooney's POV because I'm not sure exactly what happened, but didn't work out nicely for Legacy, that's for sure. It buys a lot of time for Darksided, and that was Legacy's best chance. They were winning that fight. Yeah, but not winning it hard enough. Exactly. They're going to really struggle here to force this point. And considering what was a pretty good point number 1, they have lost a lot of time now to try and cap out this map. So, let's see what this last push is going to look like. They have 1, 2 ready to go, but Strawbella is dead. They're going to want to wait, surely, for this Mercy to come back in time. But it's going to be too late. It's not going to matter. Turmo finds 1. Their other healer's been removed, and with 15 seconds on the clock, and the D.Va running away. They will reset, but D.Va is going to take 12 seconds, 10 seconds to respawn, get back in the fight. Can they even get there for overtime? I don't think that they can, maybe unless Strawbella makes the hero run through here. The hack, of course, though, does come across from USMC. No one can get to the point there for Legacy, so they don't even have the opportunity to fight it out, despite having a few ultis available there. Dench, I think, popped his as well, just in a desperate hope to get that mobility towards the point. But it seemed so easy again for Darksided. Like,
there was not really a push where you felt like Legacy was even going to get points on the board on that second point.
6 minutes, no ticks, essentially, is what we saw. So that's a little bit less than ideal, to be perfectly honest, if you are a Legacy fan. Let's see what Darksided can do in return now that they are on attack. There's a couple of things about this map that really get me. It's not real, Jordan, okay? Do you know why? Firstly, there's cherry blossoms and there's no tourists, okay? If you got cherry blossoms, there's like 1,000 tourists there, so how are you even going to fight?
But in saying that, there's a lot of crazy stuff going down here on Hanamura.
It's true, maybe they've just scared everyone. Look, see, there'd be a tourist right there under that tree taking a selfie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But then Genji's going to come in with Dragon Blade.
Are you supposed to use a Dragon Blade on tourists? I don't think that's okay. I know they're annoying, but normally you just say, please no. Please no. Look at them all. It's almost like our observers listening to us, Jordan. Isn't
Hanamura kind of like a private residence?
I would suspect. But if you have a look out the other side, the gate's open. So and there's an arcade there, but it's an arcade with none of those little ball games. They have all these games where you put the balls in, they go bloop, 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 bloop.
Okay, I'm not really sure I'm following. I haven't been to Japan, though.
Well, okay, you should go.
You have been.
Yes, well, that's the only reason that I know. Look at this. Look at all these games. They've been destroyed. This is a tragedy. Really. It is a tragedy.
It's like that song. It's a tragedy.
Sing some more.
I don't actually know the words.
Well, that is more than obvious, Jordan. You know less about that song than you do about Overwatch, but it's okay. Probably for the best.
That's
so,
good.
Let's see what can happen. It took 2 and a bit attacks, really, for Legacy to push their way through. I feel like Darksided should be able to pick up this map, Jordan. It's going to be 3-0 after this one, I suggest.
Has got the Hanzo out here. He's just looking for some info plays. With the Sonic Arrows, decides to swap back, of course, onto the Lucio, but Termo. This time it's Termo, not USMC, so it must be the fact that Termo doesn't really want to play Tracer. USMC quite happy to, so they wanted to go for the Tracer and Sombra combo. That does put USMC back on Tracer. Let's see if Termo can be as effective as his DPS buddy was on the Sombra, and it certainly seems like he is, just firing shots into the back of
They're not even dealing with him, Jordan.
They're not, exactly, and he's charging his ulti up so fast. Yes, this is going to be a fight lost for Darksided, but next fight, Termo's going to be around the back, and he's going to have his ultimate.
Very much will so. See if he can pick up Strawbella here. There you go, the hat cuts
dead.
out.
Surely.
No, too good. Nice little heals coming out there. That's exactly what she needed.
That's a good pick, though, for Wuvo. Termo could definitely have won this point straight off the bat for his team. Strawbella will eventually go down. The Mei not being so effective here for Legacy. Did buy a little bit of time, but now trickling into the first point. We all know how this one does tend to end up. A nice sleep already onto the Diva, but that's all that Legacy can really get out of that one.
The Mei went okay for a little while, but in the end, it's very tough when everyone piles back on top of you and you're the last one alive, right? So, a very quick capture here. 6:31 on the clock, and Termo ready with that EMP. Translocate up the top, up there with Mooney as well, so may be able to dive on here very, very early. And of course, going to go take that health pack for good measure.
They're all going to rotate back around to main by the looks of things, but Legacy is actually re-engaging. That's, you know, not too bad actually for Darksided. They just decide to...
Yeah, don't want to deal with an EMP fight.
Exactly, just back off out of that fight. A couple of them suicide off the edge, which is fair enough. They're going to respawn, we're going to regroup. Not really anything utilized there by Darksided, in fact. And they were already rotating across anyway, so it's going to cost them, you know, 10, 15 seconds, but not too much. Legacy are going to have some real troubles holding on to this next one as Termo, he's been looking for an EMP throughout, well, the most of this map. This is finally his opportunity. Wuvo around the back.
Look at this, a 4-stack even of ultis ready to go, and Swilko almost ready for the sound barrier as well. 2 players go down for now as well. Legacy in a difficult position. Termo ready with that EMP.
He doesn't need it.
Should he need it, but he doesn't. Look at this, Transcendence comes out. Caramel Koala surely goes down there. Nice work. In a great position. They only need the 1 pick.
Wow.
Easy done.
No one even got on that point. Termo didn't use his ulti all game. I don't think Mooney did either. And it's a very, very easy cap there for Darksided. So map number 3 goes in their favor as well.
Wow. And Molotov, who was, as his name suggests, throwing fire a little bit early on in that podcast, John, that we were talking about. Look at this.
So satisfying getting one of those right-click headshots off on the Zenyatta. And then just doing a number on the Winston as well.
See you later,
Great stuff.
Winston.
Zenyatta is just one of those characters that can step up and carry.
We have seen a lot of really good Zenyatta plays over the last 2 days as well. A number of times, even with the Zenyatta taking down the Widowmaker as well, which is always fun to see. So, Darksided do pick up the victory. 3-0 now the score.
Yes.
One more map to go. Will the 4-0, your prediction, what Molotov predicted, come true? Can Legacy bring it back? So we head to our last map.
Look, I'm never wrong, Ben.
You are so often wrong.
Wow, let's just forget all the predictions I made yesterday.
Yeah. That was less than ideal. But today, looking not too bad. Definitely a 4-0 on the cards. Is there a way that Legacy brings this back? Or do you think that maybe it's too late?
I think it's too late, really. We're not even seeing Darksided being pushed at all. Like, if these fights were close, if Darksided was dumping all their ultimates in and only getting one tick, and it took them, like, 2 minutes of continuous fighting on the second point of Hanamura to even get there. But the fact of the matter is that they are not even really investing everything they have into these fights. You saw at the end of that, 2 ultimates were still available on Hollywood. The same thing was the case. They were not utilizing many of their ultimates in some of those fights, and they were still getting very, very easy wins. Legacy is struggling so much right now, and Darksided is only putting in maybe 75%.
It genuinely feels like that, and they're coming out with the victory every time. So, last map, Jordan. Is it going to be Junkertown? Yes! Got him. 2 games, 2 Junkertowns. What more would you want? Welcome home.
Raise your koalas?
Yeah, well, there is a koala in the map.
Is there?
Yeah, well, not a real koala. It's the takeaway koala.
I don't think I've seen this.
It's cooking or something. Like, it's sitting above the takeaway sign.
Okay, I'm going to have a look out for that.
You will. You will have to keep a lookout because it's literally the most obvious thing. He's like, I don't know what he's actually making. I'd have to have another look. It's like around here, up there.
Oh, yeah.
He's holding like steamed buns or something, or dumplings.
I'll be honest, I've never actually looked in that direction.
Really?
No, like, you don't, that's not part of your sightlines, really, on either defense or offense.
I just see food and I go, oh.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see how this one plays out. Legacy on attack. Not surprising.
Indeed, everyone's choosing defense when they have the option. It's going to be the double sniper setup to begin with. Oh, Taro just says, see you later, Caramel Koala. There's no Caramello Koalas here for him. Strawbella does get the res across, but that is not a fun feeling. And you're in that sniper versus sniper matchup, and you get absolutely obliterated off the bat like that.
Less than idea. Caramel Koala, what can we do here on this Widowmaker? Already made a great start, and you can see that payload pushing quite a distance forward, Elfishguy. Slowly but surely getting that momentum forward. Let's take a look. Termo ready with the Empress side in just a second. USMC also ready for the EMP.
Termo's just so aggressive. Caramel Koala has no idea. You're not expecting a Widow to push like that, and Termo's just taking advantage of the fact that there is another sniper on the field that he's able to bully. Yes, he does get taken down there by Skull, but he's put out so much pressure already. Darksided were able to dive into the back lines of Legacy off the back of his picks, and able to pick up an easy round, or easy fight win, should I say. Not necessarily the round over just yet. Wuvo, not sure how much impact he's having right now on the Hanzo. I have to suspect it's not a whole lot because things are not going too well for Legacy just yet. Bit of a happy-go-lucky scatter arrow out there just to see if he can find anything, but not the case.
A sick Dragon Strike certainly wouldn't go astray here if they can. There's the EMP, Jordan. Wuvo tries to pick one up, but it will be Strawbella going down to the opposing sniper.
I think Wuvo just wants to swap off the Hanzo here. That's why he's decided to go for that ultimate. I was going to say it's probably not the greatest of ultimates, but let's see what he does decide to go with when he does respawn here. Indeed, he goes over to the Soldier, so really not too big of a deal for him. He just was sitting on that until he got the ulti off, but it was really not an ulti to write home about there.
Feeling spry.
See what they can do. Really haven't done much to deal with Caramel Koala at all, Jordan. Sorry, with Termo even, because Caramel Koala has certainly been struggling there, trying to take those 1v1s. Mooney jumps through, decides maybe they want to get out of that one.
Well, self-destruct coming out there from Punk, and he'll be able to get one. Termo, in the meanwhile, still doing some pretty crazy things on that Widowmaker. Eventually does take a headshot from Caramel Koala, has to back off, but look at this aggression out from Smilko. Just decides he wants to try and take the fight to the opposition Widowmaker. Very aggressive with the Valkyrie on as Mercy. Doesn't get punished for it, obviously. Caramel Koala was forced back. Legacy really having a lot of trouble pushing this cart forward.
No matter what they do, they're still not getting any ground here, Jordan. Nothing is getting pushed forward. They're not getting the picks they need. Look at this. Still struggling with this Widow on Widow fight. Finally, we see some momentum pushing forward here now on the payload, but I don't know if it's going to last. Here come the Ultimates. Wuvo pushing forward, ready for attack visor as well. Maybe this will help them out. Diva goes down. Mooney should get picked up. There's the hack coming out. The 1v1 between Wuvo and Sombra. And Caramel Koala does finally get Turmo.
Yeah, this is looking a lot better now for Dark-Sided, though, as they start to re-engage back in onto the point. Legacy Esports, they push the cart, you know, maybe a couple of meters forward, but so very quickly it was stopped by Dark-Sided. And yeah, this kind of lineup from Legacy Esports, it's just not working out. You can see Skull and Cinderella trying to dive in there, but they didn't have anyone behind them. They didn't have the Genji, they didn't have the Tracer to back up their damage and find the picks that this dive comp was essentially needed or designed to do. So now we see the swap over onto the Tracer from Caramel Koala. Is that going to be enough damage here for Legacy to be able to find a pick and get a little bit of an advantage heading into that first point? A good sleep, but no kill. And USMC still manages to kill Dench. Overall, just nothing is working in the favor of Legacy right now. Everything they try to do is falling flat on its face.
Yeah, still manages to get that EMP off, but it's not going to matter, I don't think. And Punk coming out with a double kill there on the self-destruct, and this should be it, Jordan. Really, let's look, 52.63 meters was as far as they got, and that is not a very big ask at all. Dark-Sided in prime position here to pick up the 4-0.
Really, it feels like if Dark-Sided is able to get a single pick here, that's going to be the game over. It's going to be the 4-0 for Dark-Sided. And the way that Tomo was hitting shots in that, if he decides to go for the Widowmaker here again in the second half, yeah, he's probably going to be able to do just that. Although, I feel like it doesn't really matter what kind of comp Dark-Sided do go for here. Whether they go for the long-range pick potential with the Widowmaker, or if they just go for the dive potential with Turmo on the Genji, USMC maybe on Tracer, or, of course, Sombra. Whatever works, doesn't matter. It seems like they just have that level above Legacy right now that is going to be able to net them the 4-0. And Turmo hovering, of course, the Widowmaker there. So that is going to be most likely his choice. There will be, of course, the Orisa shield to deal with, so maybe it'll be a little bit more difficult for him to get some shots off as to what it was in that defensive side, but I think he can still do it.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit tough here for Legacy. If we had seen them in a different matchup to kick things off, their first game of Contenders, I suspect we probably would have seen a different result. I feel like they're probably sitting in that middle of the pack, you know, just above a couple of teams down in the lower half, just below the two teams at the top. And this group that they're in also is less than ideal. Group A is pretty difficult to deal with. You've also got Blank Blue in there, so you're really fighting for maybe 3 and 4 in your group.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough for Legacy. But at the moment, fighting to stay alive in this final map.
Yeah, well, this is going to help them.
It has to be a heroic defense.
And I want to talk about again, I want to make the point that it's not just who wins the match. You want to get those map points as well. If you're going to lose, you want to at least lose 3-1. You want to try and get some for and against going for you. This doesn't look like it's going to go that way. This could be very, very quick. We see the point that Legacy choose to hold in USMC. What can he do here on the Sombra? Who can he pick up? And straight away, round the back, ready to go. Oh, Strawbella in a very difficult position. Forced to come back. But for now, some free ground.
Just going to be putting the pressure on as Dark-Sided do continue the push of the payload forward. Legacy not really keen to commit into any fights, and they don't really have the option of choosing when they fight, barring a good hook out from the Roadhog.
There's one.
Mooney, though, he's got the options. He can decide to push forward whenever he wants. Turbo and USMC follow him up. The dive composition, again, working out here for Dark-Sided, minus, of course, the Genji. But Turmo's doing work anyway, and the cap comes across. Dark-Sided 4-0 over Legacy for their first match in the Oz Contenders.
Dark-Sided more like Dive-Sided, but either way, doing very, very well here. Mooney, play of the game. Let's see what this may be at the very end. Is he on attack or on defense?
Yeah, he's on attack,
Nice work.
He really did do a lot of work. Pushed all of the players apart. And that allowed everyone a lot of freedom to just get in there and pick apart the Legacy players. Not to mention, he was also the first one to find a kill in that round for Dark-Sided, so he opened it up so much for them. And I think across the board for Darksided, that's a very happy time. Everyone had their moments. Everyone looked good throughout that for Darksided. So you can't really put it on just one player having an individual performance. All of them looked excellent.
They all looked very, very good. Really did outclass Legacy in this matchup. So I think we can safely say that Darksided are one of the top teams in their group.
Yep.
The real question is, are they better than Blank Blue? That's going to be a very, very interesting match to see.
Not sure how long we're going to have to wait to see that one, but that is a very tantalizing matchup. And of course, Darksided happy with their 4-0 to start off things here. Again, for Legacy, look, it's not the result that they would have wanted, obviously, but it is probably the expected result coming into this matchup. So it is what it is. The things are going to get a little bit easier for them as they do head on through the contenders. Now they've gotten rid of Darksided. You only have to play everyone once. So in theory, the journey should get a little bit easier.
A little bit easier from here,
one of those top 3 teams in the region in their first week.
Yeah. Well, let's go and take a look at the games that we saw today in our recap. And that was our second set. Darksided are going to pick that one up all for Ilios, Hollywood, Hanamura, and Junkertown. And as you said, Jordan, none of these really felt particularly close. Darksided had Legacy at every turn, but it was a difficult matchup. Legacy can now regroup, get an opportunity to watch the rest of the matches for the week, see what's coming up on Sunday. They would have been able to watch the games from yesterday as well. And hopefully a little bit of time to push through and grow as a team, because some of these teams are still quite young. Even if they qualified through from the trials or from open division, there's still been a ton of roster changes. There's still a lot to learn, a lot of team consistency. You know, the supports need to learn the tanks, need to learn the DPS. There's a lot to go. Yeah,
there is a lot of still questions about a lot of teams. I mean, we have had our first taste of the AU contenders, but we're not 100% sure where everyone's going to be sort of fitting in. I think as far as those first 2 days have been concerned, we've kind of seen fairly expected results across the board. There hasn't really been an upset so far. So overall, things